Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. This man decided, instead of speaking at a town hall after moving ahead with a contract for $498,500 after they rejected a $500,000 one for AI surveillance, to speak to the press. He sent this guy, who's, you could just see from the look on his face, he has a pretty bad fucking job, to talk to the constituents and explain to them why, I know that you all voted no and don't want AI surveillance in your neighborhood, but we put it there anyway. And you're paying for it anyway. Fuck you. He decided to go and talk to the press. And I wanted to play one of the things that he said while talking to the press that wound up not being true. The TLDR of this is that he was saying, I know that you're all concerned about these cameras being used to target vulnerable communities in ICE, but it could help people that are trans. Look, we solved a case on somebody that's trans. Except you could tell that he's using this as a prop, which is what makes me sick. He's using the trans victim that they found the killer of as a symbol. Except A, you could tell from his tone of voice he's using that as a symbol, and more importantly, B, he hallucinated it. Very similar to the camera that hallucinated thinking that a Doritos bag was a gun. Similar to the camera that hallucinated that a middle-aged woman with a fucking Rivian was stealing packages in a neighborhood where she never even got out of her car in. It also just so... Mike Johnston is also apparently hallucinating that he's solving cases with these cameras that he's not. And the problem with this, the bullshit runs around the world faster than the time it takes for the truth to get its shoes on. So let me play you this clip from the Channel 9 News so you can see what I mean.
We had a trans woman who was kidnapped and murdered, picked up in Denver, murdered in Lakewood. We solved that crime because Denver and Lakewood could talk to each other across a flock camera database.
That's not true.
He couldn't be talking about my daughter.
Sherry Gattalk-Camus now knows the mayor was in fact talking about her daughter, Jax Gattalk.
Jack's case is not solved. Flock cameras had nothing to do with finding the perpetrators. Absolutely nothing.
Nobody has been arrested in Jax's case, where Jax's body was found by a business owner near his building months after she was reported missing.
I'm shocked and appalled that a public official would use my daughter and claim that Flock had anything to do with her being found.
The mayor's office is now offering an apology to Jax's mom, saying the Lakewood police case is ongoing, and said in part, quote, "We should have spoken with her family before referencing the case. We offer our deepest apologies for any additional stress this has caused."
Not their apologies. Their deepest apologies. How Christian of you. There's a reason that he didn't show up to that town hall. He knew that he would not be able to lie this way, because at the town hall, there would be people that knew this case. There would be people that could Google this. There were people that could call him out on each of these elements of bullshit. And we no longer have an ideological disagreement. It's no longer something where you think that this makes us more safe. I don't. You made up a case result that doesn't exist. You know why you did that. And he knew what he was doing as he was making up that case result that didn't exist. He was doing that to manufacture public consent for AI surveillance. And what makes it even more disgusting is when you can see, it found the case of a trans woman. Because they know that, like, there are the people in the community, and I've seen this from more right-wing people in my comments, like, hey, you keep talking about these cameras helping ICE. There are constituencies that are not illegal aliens that care about their Fourth Amendment rights too. And I get the point when people are fighting back and forth about this whole thing. He knows the people in this community are more left-leaning. They can care about the disenfranchised, and, they care about the people that may get picked up by ICE. And you should know that the trans people are also disenfranchised, and this helps them too. He doesn't give a fuck about trans people or any people. He made it up. He's using the word trans as a symbol, and as George Carlin would say, symbols are for the simple-minded, which is what he thinks you are. He sees trans as a people, and he sees this person as a fucking painting or an ivory box. She's not a woman that got killed, that has a real mother that cares about the case. She's a prop to be used to push AI surveillance on the city because he's probably fucking getting paid for it. It's bullshit. He doesn't care about you, or the trans people, or the disenfranchised, or anybody! And I hope you can see that. It pisses me off listening to this, because I knew from the moment that I saw that fucking video, before I even saw the title, that the way that he uses his words, well, actually, you should know this picked up a trans woman, I knew he was going to be using her as a prop. And it makes me sick. And I hope it makes you sick too. There are people in your life, and this goes so far outside of this, that, and I've had this before over the long period of time for a number of reasons, that are not going to see you as a human fucking being. They're going to see you as a prop, as a tool, as something that they can extract value from without ever providing value in return. And when you ever need value out of them, they will stare at you like you are a dragon and laugh. Kick those people out of your life. The same way that I suggest that you try and recall this mayor and kick him the fuck out of your city. I know that you don't like these cameras, but they helped us solve the case of a trans woman who was hurt, so you should be okay with it. He doesn't give a fuck about this woman. He's lying about the entire fucking thing. He made it up. There's a reason that he went to speak to the press by himself, with nobody there that would ask him a pointed fucking question, rather than come out to a city town hall. And John McKitty put it perfect when he said this.
Deliver one clear message to the mayor. Please share this with him. On behalf of the citizens of East Colfax, and we're going to say this in a really East Colfax kind of way. Quit doing this behind closed doors and come out and debate this in the public forum, you fucking pussy.
Everything about this guy, everything. Look at his fucking shirt. Look at the shit that he wears. Denver Mayor Mike Johnston greeted demonstrators at a No Kings protest at the Colorado Capitol on Saturday with a shirt that says, "Be a good person." Because that's all you need to do to be a good person. You don't have to do things like not lie about the victims of fucking murder straight to the face of their families and not have the balls to show up in person while you're doing it. No, you just put on the t-shirt. You point to the t-shirt. Be a good person. Like weaselly, cowardly piece of garbage you are. I have no fucking respect for people like you. There are people in your life that will see you as a means to an end, as a prop, as not something to be treated as a human being, but something simply to extract benefit from. And you should not have these people in your life. They suck. Mayor Mike Johnston is that person to that person's mother. He doesn't give a shit about any of these people. And again, the question that I suggested that you all ask when I showed up to Denver and speaking to people at that event was not, how do I get these cameras taken down? But rather, if I don't want them here, and the people that vote the opposite of me also don't want them here, why are we still paying for them? And why are they here? What is the motivation and incentive structure for the mayor to make up solved cases that don't exist in order to push a narrative that will get people to be okay with having this garbage in their city? You need to start following that thread. Because when you follow that thread, you'll start to figure out what's really going on. I have not been involved with this enough to be able to really take the time to follow that thread and to just kind of pull it as much as I can, tug on it and see what comes out. But I'm hoping some people that are better investigators, better detectives, better reporters and journalists are able to uncover that. And I would like to help you every step of the way. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. And if you're watching this, Denver Mayor Mike Johnston, go fuck yourself. You're a piece of shit. Unlike BlackBerry. BlackBerry would never make up a solved case that didn't exist to manufacture consent for AI surveillance. She's just a good little kitty. Be more like BlackBerry. BlackBerry would be a better mayor of Denver than that guy. Wouldn't you, BlackBerry? I'm going to make a poll. You had to vote Mayor Mike Johnston or BlackBerry. Who would you vote in a recall? BlackBerry all the way. See you in the next one. Bye now.